This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Let's Watch Anna do Anna stuff. Anna's I guess recovered, I guess. I don't know. There's like a lot going on, but there's not at the same time. It's very strange. So I figured we need to spend a few minutes figuring out what's going on in the land of glitter and lasers. Recently, Anna has been on a podcast called Lipedema Mama's podcast, and I covered her episode with them. It was a thing. It's a two-parter on the channel if you guys are interested in listening to that, and there's that. Oh yeah, caveat, I have a cold, so we're gonna try to do this. Yeah. But she does have a couple of posts. I think they're sort of kind of deleted. I don't know. But anyway, I had to get like screen captures of them in order to talk about them. But we're going to talk about these two clips real fast. And I think there's another one that she took down, but I don't care about that one as much because I think it's just a side by side of her in a bikini. I don't care. But then we're going to jump over to her we sure are, her TikTok. And we're going to get caught up with her TikTok and see about that one. And I think there's something over on Instagram we need to look at as well. So we're going to kind of bounce around is what I'm saying in this one, just to kind of figure out where Anna is in the world and all of that. And hopefully my voice will pull through for us. We'll hold on for all of this. But until we get there, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. You guys are awesome. And if you want to hit the thumbs down button, that's fine too. YouTube does not care. That's the secret with channels. You know, if you don't like a channel, don't watch it. Don't engage with it. If you like, everybody's like, oh, I hate Amber's channel. Don't engage with it. That's the only way. Anyway, all right, so this is just a video of Anna rummaging through some food boxes. It says, some days you just need a break. Yeah, so instead of cooking for the weekend, I ordered a family order of Nandos chicken to meal prep for the next few days with the new Selena album running on repeat. I'm using today to get recalibrated after a busy few days with my godkids. I've physically been pushing myself a lot, and it's important I don't forget to rest while building up my stamina. Old me didn't prioritize rest. I would throw myself into a huge flare-up by overdoing it and set myself back even further. I'm going to relax today so I can confidently take on tomorrow. Here's a couple things. I've already watched Chikara. I'm trying to think if I saw somebody else react to this. Yeah, Lindsay. But okay, so I saw Lindsay react to this, but Lindsay was reacting to Chikara reacting to this. So following this all the way back to the beginning, it's still Alona's reaction. But somebody on Reddit, I believe it was, ordered the Nandos family pack just to kind of see what it was Anna got. There's 2 bags here, and I think the important thing to take away is there's 2 family meals here, and that's what the Redditor figured out because they ordered the family pack. And as you can see, there's 2 of everything on her counter here. I don't necessarily care that Anna is food prepping like this. I think it's kind of silly. And I don't have anything against Nandos. I think I've had it once when I was in Arizona, and I remember it being good. I've had it once in my life, so I can't really talk too much about it. But there's just something about ordering meals from restaurants in order to food prep when you could order something like any of these box cooking meals, or even like, what is it that what Amber was eating for like a hot second there? Factor, I think it was. You can, or just get frozen meals. I don't know. I just feel like there's other solutions to the issue that would be less calorically dense, less fat dense, less salty. I'm not trying to say Nandos is bad for you. I'm just saying it's probably not the go-to for food prep, but it's Anna. So one of the things Alona pointed out is that this is probably rage bait. And I can't not agree with her, because I think at this point, and we'll see in the next one that I'm going to look at, I think Anna at this point is going the distance to just kind of antagonize the people she thinks are her haters. Anna doesn't interact with her audience to begin with, so she doesn't really interact with her supporters anyway. And because she doesn't interact with her supporters, she really only engages with people who have negative things to say to her, which is, I think, the like the flaw with all of the girls. They tend to ignore the people who are supporting them. Like, they will talk to them, except for Anna, but mostly they focus more on the people who are trying to troll them or trying to get a reaction out of them or that kind of stuff. And so they feed the trolls. And Anna is a lot like, well, Amber and Foodie, where she thinks she's like, you think she's going to get one over on the trolls. The reality of the situation is, whether this is a rage bait post or not, whether she's doing this as rage bait or not, she still ordered 2 Nandos family meals, right? So unless she's got like 16 people over there or like 8 people there that we can't see, which is possible, very possible, she is eventually either going to eat all of this food herself or throw a good portion of it away. Ah, Anna, you got one over on us. Yeah, you sure showed us. So there's that. I forget which video it was I was talking about this in. Very long time ago. I used to work at a comic shop when I was a kid, and there was a guy who, this is back before Uber existed. I'm old. Anyway, he would ride the bus, and he would come to the comic shop to pick up his weekly comics. But in the process, there was like a bunch of restaurants on the same like strip mall area, and he would stop in at each restaurant. Like, there was an Olive Garden, and I think there was like a Ruby Tuesdays or Chili or something. Not Chili's. Yeah, Chili's. That's a place, right? Chili's is a place, right? Anyway, he would stop in at each one of these restaurants on the way to the comic shop, and he'd get like 3 or 4 meals at each place, right? And so by the time he got to the comic shop, he had like these bags of just food, these big carry bags of food. And that was it. That was his meals. He didn't grocery shop. He just went to the restaurants and bought food. And then he'd get back on the bus and go home, and those were his meals for the week. And that was his routine. And the dude was like, it was kind of impressive the dude could walk, to be honest. He was a big guy. Like, he had to be, this is back in the day, so like in my head he's like way bigger than he probably was, but he had to be like 300-400 pounds, like big guy. You know, and was he tall? He was taller than me, but that's not hard to do. Like, I'm a very short person, so it's not hard to be taller than me. I mean, he was a really nice guy. You know, the cursed word of every man out there. He's a nice guy. But it was also kind of sad because, like, he didn't have anybody in his life. Nobody cooked for him. Nobody took care of him. His solution to the world was to buy large amounts of food from restaurants because he couldn't or wouldn't cook for himself. And that was his life. He spent Thursdays was comic day. He would spend every Thursday going up and down the street, getting food from the restaurants and picking up his comic books. And then he would go home. I don't know. He was like an engineer or something. Like, he made good money, but I mean, he was a really smart guy too. He was a real smart guy. He was very friendly when he came into the shop, but like, in this, just seeing this clip here, it just kind of reminds me of him. And I mean, like I said, very friendly guy. You know, he always would chat everybody up. Never had a problem with him, but it just was always very sad. And this is just kind of sad. I just like, I know Anna thinks she's pulling some kind of, if she's not rage baiting the audience, which I'm torn. I kind of think it might be rage bait, but again, going back to the reality, she's gonna eat this food, right? So so she's got 2 family meals here to make food for herself for what, a week? She's gonna go through 2 family meals in a week? And I mean, I don't know how much food is in a family meal. I really don't. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if that's like 2 whole ass chickens or if that's half a chicken for each meal. I don't know. And I think it was Alona was pointing out that like even she's not above, I don't know why I'm buttoning this. She's not above going to the store and grabbing a rotisserie chicken. And I mean, I've done that a million times, right? You go to the store, you grab a rotisserie chicken, you bring it home. If you cut that thing up enough, you can get probably, well, for 2 people, you can get at least 3 to 4 good meals out of it. I know because I've done it. I don't know how it works for like families of size, right? But I mean, for one person, if I can get 4 good meals for 2 people out of 1 chicken, you can probably get a week's worth of meals out of 1 chicken for 1 person, right? So I don't know. I don't know. If I was like a mom of any number of children and I was like the sole caregiver or something like that, I mean, I could completely understand why people would want to use that kind of a convenience food. Like I'm not trying to demonize it. I think there's a time and a place for it, and I 100% understand why people see that kind of thing in the grocery store and they're like, "Heck yeah." And honest to God, I think I'd rather see people buying rotisserie chicken and pre-made sides from the grocery store than I would see them buying, no offense to Nandos, but like giant ass family meals from Nandos. I just feel like they're more healthy. They probably, I don't know, but maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I just in my head they feel like they're healthier, but I don't know if they are or aren't. But they're sure as hell, probably Nando's is even better than fucking McDonald's, so there's that. Really, honestly, this just kind of brings me back to my time at the comic shop and that one guy. I just kind of like, it just like instantaneously revived that memory for me. And, you know, again, going back to if you're some, I mean, even if you're a dad, I guess if you're a dad of like multiple children and you're trying to run a single family household, I mean, it doesn't just have to be a mom. If you're a single parent and you're trying to run a single parent household, you've got a lot of responsibilities, right? So I get wanting convenience. I get wanting convenience, especially when it comes to food. But Anna doesn't have that problem. Like every time I come after Anna for things, there's always somebody who's like, ah, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but you're not the person I'm talking about. Anna doesn't have a multi-child home. Anna lives by herself. Anna has a dog that I don't even think she walks. I think somebody was telling me she hired a dog walker, like, or a dog walker is part of the apartment. I don't know. The veins in her marble countertops are really bugging me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why they're bothering me so much, but they really do. Anyhow, um, she has a dog. That's it. Those are Anna's responsibilities on a day to day. You know, she makes content barely for the internet, and she has to walk a dog occasionally. Other things she's supposed to be doing in a day is 2 hours of sitting in her compression gear, her little pump, her leg pumps gear for 2 hours out of the day. And that's it. You know, she tries to convince us that she works out somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes a day. There's your day. That's Anna's day. So you can't find time in that day to cook. So anyway, all right, so that's enough about that one. Let's pull up the other one real fast. All right, I have entitled this one Anna mocks small children and harasses, or Anna mocks children and harasses small businesses while taking a walk in New York for a bagel. For those of you who were here last year, yes, Anna decided that she was going to take a walk in New York. Yeah, it was last year. A walk in New York to go get a bagel. It was supposed to be a 2-mile hike, and she was going to go get herself a bagel at Thompson Square Bagels. And it was the best bagel that has ever bageled. And she was so looking forward to it, you guys. It was amazing. And she was going to get the olive olive cream cheese on her pumpernickel bagel. I had a friend who very nicely got me the exact same order and brought it home for me, and it was very good, actually. It was delicious. That cream cheese was mwah. And I do like a pumpernickel bagel, so hopefully when I go visit New York, I will be able to get one fresh. And maybe they'll toast it for me. That was my only complaint. It wasn't toasted. I don't know, maybe that's sacrilege, I don't know. But it was a good bagel. So props. I understand. It was a good bagel. It wasn't about the bagel. Anna got a lot of shit for her little New York bagel video. And Anna decided to bring it back up again. She brought it up in her own podcast. She brought it up in the first episode of her own podcast, The Medical Detectives, where she tried to make it sound like everybody decided to dogpile her while she was recovering from surgery. All of the haters decided to dogpile her while she was recovering from her first surgery. But the thing was, is timeline-wise, no one knew she was even having the surgery, let alone that she was recovering from it. So there was no way for that to have been true because no one knew she was recovering from surgery. So right there, that made the statement false because there was no way for it to be true, right? We didn't have the knowledge that she was claiming we had in order for that to be true. So she was trying to make it sound like we were doing that just out of maliciousness because she was a fat chick on the internet eating a bagel. And the reality of the situation is it really didn't have anything to do with the bagel. And one of the people on the Discord that I participate in made a really good point, and I kind of wish I'd thought about it at the time because it's a very valid point. When the reaction community reacted to Anna's stupid fucking New York bagel walk, we did title a lot of things around the bagel. Because the end of the video, because the premise of the video was Anna's walking to go get a bagel, right? That the bagel was the plot of the video, right? And then at the end, it turns out that Anna didn't take the time to check her order before she left Thompson Bagels. And she apparently just like snatched an order up off of the counter or what have you and just walked out of the store without checking it. And so when she got all the way back to her hotel room, which she took a taxi back to her hotel room, she had grabbed the wrong order. And so she gets all the way back to her hotel room and she's filming herself in her bed with cream cheese smeared across her face, crying about how it wasn't the right bagel and it wasn't even the right cream cheese and she just couldn't win and the world was against her and her life was a sham and God hated her and yada yada yada. Everybody, the world is coming to an end and blah, and the bagel was wrong. Ah! And then she just has a complete meltdown over this fucking bagel. That was just like the cherry on top. I mean, it was above and beyond ridiculous. Like it was like ludicrous. And so yeah, a lot of us did focus on the end result of said video. What Anna was really getting flack for though, and I know a lot of you have heard a lot of people, a lot of reactors who react to her now go, look what I can do. Look what I can do. That comes out of the New York video because one of the first things Anna did in her New York video was she walked past I think she walked past, two troops of kids who were dancing in New York on the street. And I think they put like little cups out, to get money. But these are kids and they're doing like dance routines and stuff. I've been not to New York, but I've been other cities where kids will do this, big cities. And they just like dance. They do it here in Philly. They'll put a little box out and they like do little dances and there's somebody beating on a drum or something. Like it's cute. Don't get me wrong. They got more balls than I do. They're dancing in public, right? Whether it's good or not is irrelevant. They're dancing in public for money. Most people will not do that. So right there, they get props for just bravery. Anna decides that she thinks their dancing is bad. Anna. This video, by the way, all she's doing is wiggling her little butt in front of the camera. Look what you can do, Anna. You can wiggle your ass. Good job. Good job getting out there. But yeah, so Anna decides to mock these children by saying, it's like watching your little cousin in the living room come up to you and go, look what I can do. Look what I can do. And then asking you for money. That's like, oh, or it's like watching a 41-year-old woman do a shitty dance on a camera on YouTube that's been monetized. Kind of the same thing, isn't it, Anna? Huh. So anyway, a lot of the community, myself included, have continued to point that out to her by going, look what I can do, every time she does a little dance video, because I'm pretty sure Anna's dance skills are not nearly as on the same level as these kids who are probably dancing on the streets. I'm not letting her live it down either, because I think it was a shitty thing to do. And the fact that she continues to pretend like that's not what that video is about, what the criticism about that video, even though it's been pointed out to her over and over and over and over again. I'm just not going to let her live it down until she admits that that's what it's about and at least apologizes. That would be nice. Just an apology would be nice. If Anna would come out and apologize for mocking children dancing in New York, and then also in the same video, she basically harassed this cotton candy vendor. She was walking and she found this little like area where there's a bunch of little shops, and one of the shops was a cotton candy maker who was making cotton candy sculptures. And I guess she had gotten there too early. The shop wasn't open, or it had just opened. But either way, like a 5-year-old, she's like, oh, cotton candy. Now, don't get me wrong. I like a cotton candy. I like cotton candy. I don't know a lot of people who don't. But she decides she wants a cotton candy, and so she goes over there, and the one guy who's opening the thing up, he's like, you don't hear him, but he relays to her, and she relays to us that the guy who makes the cotton candy sculptures isn't there yet, and they're still opening. So she's like, okay. So then we decide that we're going to wait. And in true Anna fashion, it's like it's a personal slam on her. He's not here yet. We're going to have to wait. And so we wait for a little while, and Anna pans the cam back onto herself again, and she's like, we've been waiting for 30 minutes at this point, and at this point, I've only got a limited amount of energy, and the bagel is more important to me than the cotton candy is. And there's like a woman and her actual small child there, and both of them kind of look at her, and then they look, because John's with her. John is filming all of this, by the way. And then they look at the camera with John, and both of them are just like confused. You can see it on both of their faces. They're just like, this is an adult acting like this. And the kid's like, wow, I can act like this. Like, it's just, you could tell everybody in the shot was very uncomfortable, who wasn't Anna and probably John. He's probably used to this at this point. So that happens. And then I guess the guy who makes the sculptures is a very loose word here, by the way, shows up. And so he finally shows up, and she's like, oh my God. And so he makes her a unicorn cotton candy thing, and it's cute. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against it. I mean, I would have eaten it. It looked cute. I wonder what else he could have done. I mean, unicorns are cool. I want to know what else he could have done, just because I'm curious. Anyway, so when Anna finally gets her thing, and the guy, he hands it to her, and you could see he's just hoping she leaves. The next thing she's on camera, she goes, I waited a long time for you. You better be worth it. And it's just like, bitch, just eat your cotton candy. Not everything is a personal fucking slam on you. God forbid you had to wait like everyone else there to get a fucking cotton candy. You could have walked back. Go get your damn bagel, walk back, and get your cotton candy. It's only 2 miles. Like, you're the queen of walking. This is after she walked her 5K, by the way. This should have been nothing for her, right? Anyway, so she makes this big production out of taking this dramatic bite out of this cotton candy unicorn. And then in the process of doing it, she like smashes it into her shirt. So she's like, ow, and then smashes the whole thing into her shirt and then pulls it away. And she's like, oh my God, I got it on my shirt. Ah. And so then decides that, like, in true New York fashion, it's appropriate to just strip her shirt off in the middle of the New York streets. I mean, yeah, she's got a sports bra on, and I know Anna's used to being half naked around people anymore, but I still feel like that's kind of weird. And so, you know, she eats her cotton candy. She's got food all over her, like always. And so she decides that she's going to teach us a hack. And her hack is that she pulls her shirt off in front of God and everyone, flips it inside out, and puts it back on. And because it's a black t-shirt, no one can tell that it's inside out. And now no one knows that there's food all over it, which is now cotton candy sticking to her chest. All right. Thanks for the life hack, Anna. And that's just two of the things. Those are just the two most memorable things that happened during the walk in New York. She also got pissy because a guy was trying to take a picture in the same spot in Grand Central Station that she wanted to take a picture in. And I guess he was taking too long, so she got pissed off about that. What was the other thing? Oh, she kept dumping water on her dog. What was the other things that she did? Oh, she mocked the kids twice. There were two different troops of kids, I think, that she made fun of twice. Either that or she was continuing to make fun of the same group of kids multiple times, which meant she was continuing to do it the whole time she was walking. Oh, and then when she finally does get to the bagel shop, and she's like, I'm getting a bagel. I'm getting a bagel. Ah. And it's just like, uh-huh. And the kids are dancing bad. Right. Right. You're the next K-pop sensation over here, Anna. Anyway. So she got a lot of pushback for that. And so her original comeback at all of us was the infamous shit-eating grin while smearing Philadelphia cream cheese on another pumpernickel bagel, where she's like, and then she bites into the bagel, and the caption was something like, when your haters have picked on you so much on the internet that you get a free dozen bagels, because, you know, people are pitying you, basically. You get a free dozen pity bagels. You're winning life is basically what it was, something to that effect. Thereby implying that one of Thompson Bagel's competitors had sent her a dozen pumpernickel bagels, which is, she was implying this, but that's not exactly what had happened. She was using Philadelphia cream cheese, so right there she had not gotten like specialty cream cheese, which told me that she probably hadn't gotten the bagels from a bagel shop because she wasn't in New York anymore at that time, and the bagel shop that she was claiming the bagels were from were another New York-based bagel shop. So what I think has happened is someone else had sent her a dozen pumpernickel bagels. Either that or she had ordered them herself and had them mailed to her while she was home, because she went from New York to LA and then back to Texas. That was her route, because at the time she was doing her surgeries. And I think she was pre-surgery during the New York the New York walk. So timeline-wise, we didn't know she had gone in and even had her surgery yet. We thought we were still pre-surgery at this point. So none of her story made any sense, but she was rewriting it in a way to make it sound like her critics were just being mean. That was all last year. On her podcast, she brings it all back up again, trying to spin it in a way that makes us sound like we were just being mean meanies for no apparent reason. And then again, on the Lipedema Mamas podcast, she tries to bring it up again, making it sound like we're just mean meanies who are just being mean to a fat chick on the internet eating a bagel. Right? And then we have this. This is last year before my surgery, while I was dozing off meds to prep for anesthesia, and as result, a total emotional mess. I cried over a bagel. The trolls of the internet lost their dang minds and went in hard. I know they thought all the videos the made of how awful I was crying over said bagel would hurt me or make people hate me. Instead, I thought it was freaking hilarious and literally the dumbest reason anyone ever been mad at me. I'm a proud bagel babe. Sometimes you just need to get your emotions out, and sometimes that happens over a bagel. So, once again, Anna has doubled down on this is just us making fun of her over a bagel. Again, bagel was just cherry on top. Actually had nothing to do with any of it. We were appalled at your behavior in New York. It could have been any city, honestly. We were just appalled at your behavior in public. You're from the Midwest, babe. I know you know better. It's you. So she's doubling down on that. She's doubling down on it's just people hating on her for eating a bagel on camera. And it's like, no, it really isn't. The bagel, you crying over the bagel and then publishing it, that was just like questionable. We just like, why would you do that? That's just bad bad editing choices, but still not why we were mad at you for the New York video. And it's just further her choosing to be so willfully blind to the real reasons why people were upset at her and are still upset at her for the New York video. Like I said, if she would come out and apologize for mocking children and harassing the small businesses, I would apologize for making fun of her for crying over a fucking bagel. But until she does that, you can wiggle your ass in front of a camera all you want with a little shirt that says Bagel Babe on it, but it ain't about the bagels. The Scruffy Duffy Boys. Alright, so we have covered what I wanted to cover with those two posts. So give me just a second and let's pull up Glitter and Laser's TikTok. All right, as usual, if it's quiet, it's because because the music's copyright and music copywritten. There you go. We all know how this game's played. All right, so this is POV when you're told not to spoil your god kids too much, I guess. This is that meme. I haven't seen anybody do this in a while. You still can't do a squat. Like, what is this? Okay. Also, it's officially mole walking season in Texas. Mole walking. It's mole walking season. Just got off the phone with my mom. Can you tell? Yeah, it's funny. Mole walking season in Texas. Midwest mole walking season too. All right, next. POV, a woman wearing a swimming suit at the pool having a great time. Okay. I guess we're back to Anna in bathing suits. Hooray. Wear what you want to swim. Anyone who cares needs a hobby and a hug. I don't get the sleeved bikini thing. I feel like that might be uncomfortable, but I'm not like a full body bathing suit kind of person either. But I guess if you're like doing diving or stuff, I'm trying to ignore the fact that we're back to mostly nude Anna season. Whatever. Hyperbolic oxygen therapy. I don't know why, but when I see this, I want to say hotbox. I know that's not what it says, but... And then, of course, when I see hotbox... What is she doing? It looks like she's in an iron lung. That doesn't look comfy. Gonna take a nap? I guess I could read. Excuse me. Still sick. HBot has been a game changer in helping me heal. While I originally started going to help with some challenges in wound healing caused by my autoimmune issues. Are we sure she's not diabetic? Well, I originally started going... I didn't need that shot. Try this again. While I originally started going to help with some issues in wound healing caused by my autoimmune issues, I keep going because it has helped stabilize my inflammation and significantly decrease my fatigue. I am also sleeping better and healing faster from flare-ups. What are you talking about? One thing to note is there are a lot of, quote, treatment centers that are not medical grade. Because of this, they aren't held to the same standards. They often use cheaper, soft-shelled machines, and it is not... You rocked that whole goddamn machine getting out of it. And it's not the same experience. One is a medical treatment with set protocols that require a prescription, and it is run in a faculty manager by a doctor. The other is a health spa offering that is playing off a trend. You wouldn't know anything about playing off trends. Like any treatment, talk to your doctor first to see if this makes sense for you and your treatment plan. I'm getting to the point where anytime Anna's talking about her treatment, it's basically like, my treatment's better than your treatment. My treatment's the best treatment. Anything you're doing is fake. I'm doing the best. That's just kind of how it feels. I'm sorry, that just is... She barely fit in there. Like, Anna, this is not... Maybe just show you inside and outside. Maybe don't show you struggling in and out. Unless, especially since it's just your ass. It's moments like these where I'm like... I don't think Anna's feeder corn is as obvious as the other girls, because the other girls do so much mukbang stuff and Anna really doesn't do that as much. But I do see like the struggle porn part. I see Anna do that a lot, and I know the struggling is also part of that fetish, watching the larger body struggle to do things. And I see Anna do that. And so it's kind of like, until I became aware that this world existed, I always just thought Anna was just like incredibly cringy and incredibly awkward and just like very unaware of her own size. But the more I see this kind of shit from her, the more I'm like, I think this is on purpose. And I think she's doing it because she has a certain audience that enjoys watching her do it. So, you look miserable. You look like you're going to pass out. I don't know what this is, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what hyperbaric oxygen therapy is. But I know that's a favorite of somebody out there. I know she's got some kind of music going, so I'm not going to turn on the sound, but unfortunately. Actually, give me just a second. Let's see how it sounds.
So they can pressurize this tube. Now, I do have a walkie-talkie in there in case anything goes wrong. So come with me to have hyperbaric oxygen therapy treatment. Today, I'm in chamber number 4. And this is me just climbing into the soda can of fun. I'm putting on my mask because they're going to deliver 100% oxygen to me, and they're closing me in so they can pressurize this tube. Now, I do have a walkie-talkie in there in case anything goes wrong so I can actually communicate with the outside. And as they pressurize it, it's like going underwater. So sometimes you'll feel like your ears pop. So this is me just clearing out my ears because I'm kind of feeling that sensation. Once I reach the treatment pressure set by my doctor.
Is this like the little egg thing she got into when she went to go see Karen Herbst, Dr. Herbst? It was, of course, that one was like, it would pressurize and then it would depressurize and then it would pressurize and then depressurize because it was supposed to mimic an airplane going up and down and up and down. So is this kind of the same thing?
I kind of hang out there for like 60 minutes, and it doesn't feel any different than breathing outside of the chamber. You're just absorbing more oxygen. And this helps with inflammation, anemia, and wound healing, which are all things I'm struggling with right now.
So she has anemia now. All right, add anemia to the list, guys. Who's keeping track? Somebody needs to make a bingo card of just her disorders. So we've got anemia on the list now.
I should note I did need a prescription to get this treatment because this is medical grade hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Once I'm done, they depressurize me and I just get out and I go about my day. I always feel so relaxed when I'm done. Like it's the best feeling ever. Come with me.
You basically get in there and take a nap for an hour. I mean, I would hope you feel better. I don't know. I'm a terrible napper. I can't nap. I always wake up so grouchy afterwards. No, with this cold, I might just go take a nap. Because maybe I'll just sleep it off. Anyway. Alright, so... Cool, I guess. So, she originally started doing the H-bot treatment for some challenges in wound healing caused by her autoimmune issues. Is she diabetic? Is she diabetic and she just doesn't want to tell us she's diabetic because then she'd have to admit that she's diabetic? Oh, yeah.
Is often used to describe women when they talk about illness because weak is a word that is often used to describe women when they talk about illness because the idea is not that they're sick, but that they're weak.
Right.
And that they can't take it.
Oh, it sucked. Because you would think, okay, if I start this medication, maybe I'll feel better. And then it doesn't work. And then you go back and they're like, let's try another 6 weeks. Then you go back and it hasn't worked. And then at that point you're just mad. The pain level.
Dr. Nance. So glad you're contributing.
Were just increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And I just kept getting told it's in your head.
There's video out there. Where is this video? Is there like a members page that like a Patreon that you sign up for and you can watch the video of the podcast? Like someone is editing these together. Where is it? I want to watch it. I would watch this more if I could watch the video. I want to watch the full video of these podcast episodes. Like where is it? I would pay, as long as it's a reasonable amount, to watch these videos. The podcast itself holds no interest for me. Watching the body language between the hosts and the guests is like, I would be there for that. Living in chronic pain and being judged for it. Yes, Anna, tell us about your chronic pain. All right. Bethany spent over 2 decades battling intense, unexplained pain that slowly took away her ability to dance, to move with ease, and sometimes even function. Sorry. But the hardest part wasn't the physical pain, it was how others looked at her, like she was exaggerating, like she was weak. Doctors dismissed her, friends didn't understand, and yet she kept pushing through, even when it felt impossible. In this deeply honest episode, as opposed to the other episodes, were they not honest, of the medical detectives, Bethany opens up about the emotional weight of living with chronic pain, the isolation of being misunderstood, and the strength it takes to keep going when your body won't cooperate and no one believes how hard you're fighting. I can't remember if we've added chronic pain to Anna's list of issues. I can't remember. Probably. I don't know. I know people who suffer from unexplained chronic pain do have issues being believed. So I'm not trying to slam Bethany here. I don't know Bethany's story. I'm probably not going to go listen to this, to be honest with you. But I do know people who have any kind of like unexplained, unnamed issues. Like they typically have a harder time getting people outside to believe them because it's just like, well, what's wrong with you? I don't know. But something's wrong. Yeah, but what is it? But I have pain. Or like people with chronic fatigue. It's just like, or unexplained chronic fatigue. You can't really tie it back to something. Like if you can tell people, oh, I have XYZ, people tend to be like, oh, okay, well. But like sometimes people just have like just unexplained chronic pain. They're just in pain. Why? We don't know. But it doesn't stop those people from having chronic pain, right? So, and I understand that like those people have a harder time explaining it to other people because we as humans like to have an explanation, right? We want a name. We want to name it. What's wrong with it? Wrong with you, right? And the I don't know diagnosis just doesn't work because we're like, but sure. You know, I mean, yeah. And with Anna, don't get me wrong, I'm hard on Anna because Anna has a lot of blanket terms. So again, I'm not coming for Bethany whatsoever here. As a matter of fact, if that's what's going on with Bethany, I feel bad for her, I do. But I do wonder how long it was after interviewing Bethany with her unexplained chronic pain that Anna decided that she too had unexplained chronic pain. Anyway.
The hardest part about this, I think, is that
yes, you tell
especially
us.
in America, and again, this may not be true for other countries, but we're given this whole like fake it till you make it, push through. I mean, Taylor Swift wrote a whole song, I can do it with a broken heart, right?
Right.
That when we're in pain or we're in hurt, to just push through. And when you get to a point that you can't.
I mean, to be fair, that's like my grandparents and Downs generation, though. Like, how long was her foot broken? My grandmother busted her foot. It turned purple. No one fucking knew. No one knew until one day she took her shoe off or something because her foot had finally swollen to the point where the shoe was uncomfortable. And we were like, when did you break your foot? And she's like, oh, it's just been a little painful lately. It's like, okay, all right. Can we take you to the doctor now? This is one of those things.
Push through. You don't look at that and say, wow, the circumstances I'm operating under are not okay for me to push through. That in turn gets flipped around and put on yourself. I'm the problem that I can't push through.
And there's nothing to put you in a worse mood than pain. Right?
No, no.
I don't know.
You turn into a terrible human.
I don't know how people who have, people who have chronic lower back pain, all right? I don't even know how they're cracking a smile. It is so detrimental to your emotional self, to just your ability to have a normal everyday conversation.
Weak is a word.
I mean, my guess is you just get used to it. I mean, kind of like the frog in a pot analogy, like you just eventually adjust to it and it's just your everyday. Like it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you're not feeling the pain. Like you still know the pain is there. It's just, it's your everyday. So, you know, it's not like it's a fresh hell every morning. Well, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like with my arthritis. It's like, it's just there. It just exists. Some days it's worse than others, but it's like, it's always there. You know, it doesn't prevent me from not having finding a joke funny or having a good day or, you know, enjoying nice weather. Sometimes it does. But, you know, that's a particularly bad day. It's just like, don't get me wrong, my arthritis isn't that bad. It's not that. There are people who have it way worse. And I think maybe that's the other thing. Maybe other people with like severe or chronic pain can maybe back me up on this one, or maybe not. Because like, I don't view mine as that bad. And maybe that's the other side of it. Maybe like you just get used to it and you're just like, oh, it's not that bad. Somebody else has it worse than me. Like with my migraines, I'm always like, it's not that bad. Please don't get me wrong. When I'm having a migraine, I'm like, oh, fuck, kill me. But, you know, you look back on it and it's like, other people have it worse. You know, it's just like, yeah, but in the moment, don't get me wrong. If I could gouge my eyeball out, I would. But, you know, later on, I'm just like, I know people who have even worse migraines than me. So, you know, there's always somebody who has it worse. So maybe that's another thing with chronic pain where like you're always just like, somebody else has got it worse, so mine's not that bad, right? You know? Maybe that's the other end of it. Like, yeah, you're you've got a low level or what you think is a low level of pain at all time, but it's your pain, you're used to it, and there's always someone in your head or there's a mythological someone in your head who you're like, oh yeah, that person, whoever that person might be, they have it worse than me, so why am I bitching, right? I don't know. I don't. Maybe somebody agrees with me, maybe somebody don't. I don't know. That's it for here. All right, let's check out Instagram and see what shenanigans we're up to on Instagram real fast. This week on the Medical Detectives podcast, we talked to a professional ballerina who had her world turned upside down by a mystery illness. She shares her story and how she found a new way to dance. Chronic illness changes us in ways we never expect. Finding out who our post-diagnosis is part of the journey we should talk about more. The grief that comes from losing the familiar often makes it terrifying to move forward. The only advice I can give, I don't want your advice, is trust the process, trust your body, trust yourself that you'll find a way to move forward. Does she write fortune cookies? You got this, even if right now you don't feel like you do. I would take Anna's advice if she literally didn't just spend the better part of a year cutting chunks of herself off as opposed to losing weight. Anna is the queen of shortcuts. If I wanted advice on a shortcut, I would take your advice. Otherwise, I don't want your advice. Sorry. I just don't. Taking advice from Anna, let's just not. Anna is a cautionary tale. Not quite as bad as Amber, but she's getting there. Amber's crossed the line to horror cow, though. I think we've all kind of come to that agreement. We will talk about Amber in a minute. But Anna's not there yet. Anna's still just everybody's favorite lol cow right now. What is this? Guess where I'm headed today? The hints are in this image. Look, Anna, don't challenge the internet, man. You don't like us. You don't like when we pry. You don't like when they go in deep on trying to figure out where you are and what you're doing and who you're doing it with. Just don't challenge the internet, man. Just don't. Don't ask. Ask and you shall receive. You don't want to receive. Anyway, I think this is when she was going to the hot box. It's not it. The H box. Whatever. Hot box. That's what I'm calling it from now on. Anyway, she's going to the hyperbolic chamber thingy. So there's that. I think we're caught up with her on here. I wanted to talk about this one real fast. I know Chikara has a side-by-side of Anna in this bathing suit and Anna in, I think, a green bathing suit? I can't remember. But it's a side-by-side basically comparing Anna's size, because the other bathing suit is before all of Anna's surgeries, and this one is post 3 of them now. This is the 3rd surgery, was her arms. And it's just basically pointing out that Anna's overall size has actually increased since her surgeries have begun. And I mean, yeah, right now her arms are pretty well, they look like mine actually. But that's because she just had the surgery on them done. She had her legs, her inner and outer thighs done last year. You can't tell. I mean, you really can't tell. The only weird thing here, I was talking in the last video about how fat cells work and how once you remove a fat cell, the fat cell is gone and you don't get that fat cell back, right? So the fat cells everywhere else on your body have to do the heavy lifting that fat cell was doing. So basically you're you're increasing the workload on the fat cells that you have left. And that's why you get weird fat deposits. It looks like fat deposits or weird shapes after you've had liposuction, because you've eliminated fat cells, which, I mean, that's the point, right? That's the point of liposuction, right? Anyway, the problem is, the reason why the international standards say not to use liposuction until the final stages of lipedema treatment is because the removal of those fat cells causes the remaining fat cells to expand in weird, and it will create a weird shape for the body, which I assume, this is just me assuming things at this point, that can put a weird burden of weight on the body in strange ways that the body's not used to. Like Anna, for being as tall and as big as she was, had a fairly even weight distribution, right? I mean, she was big, don't get me wrong, but her body overall was fairly symmetrical, and she carried her weight fairly evenly across her entire body. But now that she's had a ton of herself just literally chopped off, people have been commenting on her shelf ass, because her butt's been developing in a weird way. Her hips are filling out. Her waistline, she used to kind of have she had like kind of an hourglass, but not like a hourglass, but she did kind of have a dip. She would always say her snatched waist. That's starting to fill out. She's getting more of an apple shape and less of the pear that she used to have. And even in her legs, I don't know if you can see my little mouse here. She's had her outer and her inner thighs done. So she's getting these weird like lumps around her knees, and her calves are starting to fill out in weird ways. But also, Anna's hands and her feet have always been like normal. Like they've looked like normal people hands. I know that sounds weird, but now they're both starting to swell. Man, her feet look bad. And she's starting to get her neck is starting to fill out again. And she's starting to look more like her pre-Wegovy self. Only now, instead of being a pear shape, she's an apple shape. Anyway. So I just wanted to comment on that one. I have seen the side-by-sides, and I have seen the overall comparison. Anna's next surgery is going to go after her lower belly here. I think that's what they're doing, is the lower belly. I mean, I think what I'm indicating is the lower belly. I'm not entirely sure. So basically, she's getting a tummy tuck. So Anna's overall goal is literally to just cut everything off until she looks the way she thinks she's supposed to look, which is going to be really weird because, again, she hasn't stopped gaining weight. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. So that's Instagram and TikTok. Let's go check out. Let me double check YouTube, make sure there's no shenanigans going on over there, and then otherwise, I think we're done. I think that's all the news there is to know about our dear glitter and lasers right now. So we'll keep up on that. For Christ's sakes. Someday we may have to go through this whole playlist and just watch this whole damn playlist. That might be fun. But anyway, today is not that day. All right. I don't know really. Anna's like still being kind of quiet. It's interesting that she's deleting things. I mean, she's not the worst deleter. That would be Booty Beauty. But she's like, took down the Nandos thing, which kind of makes me think maybe that wasn't rage bait. Maybe she honestly thought she was doing something there. And then when enough people pointed out that A, she had 2 family meals, and B, that's not really food prep, or at least not healthy food prep, I think she took that down just to kind of avoid the flack. But that's kind of how Anna operates. I mean, the Target video is kind of a really good example of that. She put that up where she went through a Target and basically just trashed the whole place. And she got a lot of kickback from that one. And then she just kind of quietly took it down. Unfortunately, it already gotten archived by enough people that we were able to react to it. I kind of feel like she really should do that with the Bagelgate video, but she's really trying to like own Bagelgate, and I'm just like, all right, if that's what you want to do, but you're not the hero in this story, but whatever. But there's that. So Anna's just trying to reinvent the last year of her life. Which is fine, I guess. But the problem is she's doing it wrong. She's lying and doing it. And I keep having people, I'm pretty sure they're Anna supporters, which Cool for you. But they keep coming on and they're like, what's wrong with trying to reinvent yourself? Well, nothing really, unless you're lying about things, which that's what Anna's doing. She's not reinventing herself, she's lying. What else do I have to say? Oh, if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave, oh yeah, the coughing or the sniffling part, because again, I have a cold, and apologies for random jump cuts, because I'm sure there were plenty of them, because I was coughing and or sneezing, and my mother called me. Hi, Mom. You thinks I'm cute, don't you? And I don't think I have anything else to say, so thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who puts up with my rambling. I do have memberships if you guys are interested. YouTube likes me to tell you that. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget your emojis, and I will see everybody in the next one. Bye!
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.